It's easier to keep going even if it's hard because you know how hard it's been to get to the place you're at. You know how hard it's been to get to the place where it's actually somewhat easy. And you don't want to go through the resistance again of doing it.
I don't think you can do 2.5 years of one thing. I think that one of the reasons people don't do things for the long term and keep the streak, so to speak, which is what you brought up, is because they don't allow the streak to evolve.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can tell that it is Freestyle Friday because the lights are off in the studio. One of my favorite days because the lights are off and it's just kind of chill. It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe. And as you know, or maybe you don't, if this is your first Freestyle Friday, we don't have a topic. Sometimes Alan and I will talk about it in the preamble, but we're kind of all over the place on Freestyle Friday. This is what I was thinking. I was thinking of this last night. I don't know how long it's been, probably close to a month, but I've gotten up every single day at 6 a.m. for close to a month. And Saturday, Sunday, I love it on Saturday and Sunday. I love it. I get up at 4:30 last Saturday or last Sunday because I couldn't sleep. And I was like pretty gassed to get up. It's like nobody else is awake. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to have the gym to myself. And this is my thought. I believe when you do something for a long enough period of time, I don't know what dictates long enough period of time. I think it depends on the arena. It's easier to keep going than it is to stop. Because when you stop, you know you got to start all over again. I don't want to sleep in. I mean, maybe that's a piece of it too, is I don't really want to. I like getting up early. I do. It makes me feel on point. I've gone to bed, I would say 90% of the time in the last month, I've gone to bed at 10 p.m. But UFC is on late. So when that happens, I still get up at 6. I'll just get 5 hours of sleep that night. It's kind of like my commitment. It's like my agreement with myself. If I stay up late, I'm still getting up at 6 because I want to go to the gym. And I think out of the last 30 days, I've gone to the gym 29 or 28. And I haven't lifted every time. I did cardio because we were doing the 10-pound and 10-week challenge. But you're way ahead of me in that consistency. But I don't want to stop. I want to do it. I want to keep it going. I want to keep momentum. I want to keep the streak. I think at a certain point, it's just easier to keep going. Somebody asked me that the other day in a podcast, like, why didn't you ever stop? And I said, because the longer we did it, the less sense it made to stop. I'm going to just stop at 1,000. It just doesn't logically make any sense to me. In theory, the longer we do it, the less I should want to quit.
Had a good run.
Yeah, it's like, we made it to 1,000. That's good enough.
No, 1782. That's the end.
Yeah, this is the last one.
Remember, and then you and I 3 years from now, you remember that podcast we used to have?
I would be so upset. I would be so upset.
Course.
But it's hard to explain that. When I try to explain it, I just say, if I was going to quit, it would have been in the first year or the second year. It wouldn't have been in year 5 or year 6 because now it's different. It's just different. It's different problems. The podcast is the easy part. Everything else is the challenging part now. The podcast isn't that hard, all things considered.
One of the things, though, that we were able to do that I think runs beneath the surface, we adapted the podcast as we grew and evolved. A lot of people, when you grow and evolve and you do an endeavor, whether it's business or otherwise, you change and you grow, and persons, places, things, and ideas that used to be aligned no longer are. Every time the podcast was not feeling aligned for us, we changed the podcast. So that's one of the other things too. It's not like you and I decided, hey, we're going to start Next Level University, holistic self-improvement, health, wealth, life, and love, and then did it for 7 years. It was the hyperconscious, first it was Conversations Change Lives meets hyperconscious, then it was hyperconscious, then it was Next Level University, and then not only did we not rebrand it again, but we did change the way we do things. I mean, Freestyle Friday has only existed for what? Not even a year, probably 6 months, something like that. Months. But that's one of the things that I think people struggle with. I said this on a podcast Kevin and I were both on, branded, I forget the name of the podcast, but something about branding. And I said a lot of business and success is just staying power, and which is consistency over the long term. one of the reasons why you and I can be consistent, like if we were to break that down, the podcast evolved. If it didn't change at all, you and I wouldn't have been able to stay consistent. That's the thing. It's not like you're doing the same workout over and over again.
The same before.
But you can change it, and you probably will. Like let's say it's a year from now and you don't miss any workouts. The only way that that's doable from my honest practical perspective is if you flow within the train. So the train is exercising every day. But I've exercised now every day for almost 2.5 years with Emilia. But here's the thing. What we do has shifted 50 times. Like sometimes it's soccer, sometimes it's basketball, sometimes it's hiking. Several of the times it was swimming at the lake. We would actually swim last time we swam was 35 minutes back and forth the dock. That was actually brutal because the 5K was the day before.
I can imagine.
That was actually a lot.
I don't know if I could swim for 3.5 minutes. Never mind.
Sick like a rock.
Plus,
there was a lot. It was 4th of July weekend, so there was a lot of boats, and it was just getting smashed in the face with your glasses fall off. It's a whole thing. But anyways, the point is that if it was just weight training, I'm not even kidding. If it was just weight training, I don't think we could have done it. I don't think you can do 2.5 years of one thing. I think that one of the reasons people don't do things for the long term and keep the streak, so to speak, which is what you brought up, is because they don't allow the streak to evolve. I've done mobility every day for the entirety of 2024, which is 7 months as of today, but sometimes it's foam rolling, sometimes it's ROMWOD, sometimes it's free form stretching on the floor of a hotel room when we're traveling. One time it was outside the Tesla while we were charging. I was up on the grass doing my little stretchy moves. Dude, but that's the thing is I think a lot of people with this habit tracking and getting a streak, it's very hard to sustain if you can't flow within the streak.
It's also very hard we've talked about this before, the 2 Ds, discipline and design. For me, I think it's probably easier for me to exercise than it is for you because I do it first thing in the morning. So there's no, hey, we're working until 9 tonight and then I'm going to have to go to the gym. It never happens. It might be we're working until 9 and I'm going to be extra tired because I got up at 6 o'clock and I was at the gym at 7. Yeah, that might happen. But that's the thing for me is the morning routine. It's changed a lot. What? Ice bath, obviously. I wake up, I jump into the ice bath, obviously, immediately, and then I became a millionaire overnight after that. No. I think it's just...
you remember when you and I did float tanks?
Yeah. I want to do it again. I know you think they're BS now, probably. I want to do them again.
No. I don't think they're BS.
I'm going to take an edible, and I'm going to hop in the float tank. See what happens.
What did you think was going to happen versus what actually happened? I remember Kev got out. He's like, I don't know. I didn't really feel anything.
I was hoping... I mean, let's be real. I was a lot more anxious back then.
Yeah. NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes.
I was hoping that I was going to, tap into my subconscious. But it didn't really happen because I was so afraid. I was so focused on tapping into my subconscious. Yeah. I want to do it again for sure, 100%.
Yeah, when I went with Emilia, it was actually really enjoyable. But I don't know. I just thought of that memory. I remember early in the hyperconscious days, you and I went to a float tank together.
Was
different
it
tanks?
Yeah, it was different tanks. We were supposed to go with Bella. Did we ever go with Bella? We didn't.
I don't know, man.
No,
I don't think so.
Did. It was different than I expected for sure.
What were we talking about before that?
Morning, and I was going to talk about evening routines as well because I just think. So for me, I want it to be in the gym. I don't want to go for a hike. I don't want to go for a swim. I don't want to play basketball. I don't want to play soccer. I want to lift heavyweight. That's what I want to do. I want to be in the gym and I want to be bodybuilding. That is what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. Will it stay that way 3 months from today? Probably not. Am I also doing it every single day? Some days I'll go to the gym and I'll do 30 minutes of cardio.
Yeah.
But I want to be in the gym. So something for that, something about that for me. I want to be in the gym. I want to have my hoodie on. I want to have my hood up, and I want to be in the gym. That's something for me.
That
but
means
I
you
like
have to design everywhere you travel to have a gym near you.
it. Always will.
If you want to keep the streak. In Scotland, were there gyms nearby? I obviously know there's gyms.
I wasn't focused on it.
Do they have gyms over there?
Yeah, they have gyms there. I wasn't focused. When I went over there, I made the conscious decision that I'm not gonna wake up. I'm not gonna wake up early and go try to find a gym and figure out.
How were the waffle fries, man?
What?
What did you have? Belgian waffles.
I didn't go to Belgium. I went to fucking Scotland.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait, hold on. What were you looking forward to? Whiskey. So there was something else you were looking forward to. But you were supposed to go to Belgium, weren't you, for a while?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, last year. Okay, so that's not completely out of the blue. Give me some credit.
You should know that I didn't go there.
That's my bad. I just remember talking to you about waffles and French fries, I think, and whiskey.
That was so Belgium was waffles and French fries covered in whatever.
Gotcha.
They have mayonnaise over there.
I remember the food. I don't remember the place.
Scotland was whiskey, and I don't really know what I had haggis, which I explained in a previous episode, which is really good. I actually enjoyed it very much. Yep. I want to go back. I'm excited to go back to Scotland in the future.
There's so many other countries to visit. Why would you go back to the same one?
When you find something you like, you just keep doing that.
Yeah, that's what Kev does.
Why risk it?
Why risk it? Yeah.
What if you don't like it? What if you go somewhere else and you don't like it?
We do 80-20, Emilia and I. This is luckily a Freestyle Friday because the other episodes have been off the rails, but this one's allowed to be.
Mostly you. You've mostly been off the rails, yeah.
We do 80-20, so when we grocery shop, for example, she's been doing that mostly. The procurement specialist.
Yes.
She experiments with a small percentage every time to try new things, but we always go with the fundamentals too. So, who taught us that? I think it was Evan Carmichael who said that. He said experiment with 20% of your content and keep 80% bread and butter and then see what lands and see what does well, right? Split test, kind of. Mm-hmm. But it shouldn't be 50-50. It's not like...
Yeah.
So, when you travel, we try to have a couple go-tos, and then we also want to go to new places. Because, dude, there's 95 countries?
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm so curious to see what happens when you travel internationally. I'm so curious. I don't know. I'm so curious. What is it going to be like? Are you going to go to different places, or are you just going to work all day wherever you are? I'm so curious.
Well,
I think you're going to lose your mind.
Why?
Because depending on where you travel, so when we went to Scotland, we stayed in 8 different Airbnbs or something because we went all over the place, all over Scotland. And I think 2 of them didn't have any Wi-Fi.
Seriously?
Yeah. They were these tiny huts out in the middle of the country. So they didn't have no Wi-Fi. So I had to use my hotspot on my phone. But there was also no service. It worked.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. It wasn't great.
Productive week, huh?
Not the most. No, I still.
But Emilia, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I at that time I was still doing client social media. Never missed.
Nice work.
Never missed a post.
Emilia and I, whenever we travel, we always plan for Wi-Fi.
I'm telling you, there's gonna be some places where that will be impossible. Remember, what if you go to somewhere off the grid?
You gotta get Starlink, baby.
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
Starlink is internet anywhere on the planet.
Are they everywhere? Do they have it everywhere?
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume so, since they're satellites.
Well, you got to imagine they go where the demand is. They're not going to put one over, a village that only has 1,000 people in it.
I would hope that they are spreading them out to where it's... Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying.
Highest population density.
I'm very curious to what happens to you when you go and do international travel. Very curious.
It will be interesting, for sure. Yeah.
I'm excited to hear about it. All right, we're going to go in a couple minutes because I have another call, but just want to wrap it up nicely. My thesis is that when you get to the point where you are doing something, I won't say unconsciously, but relatively unconsciously, less consciously than normal, you're more on autopilot, it's easier to keep going even if it's hard because you know how hard it's been to get to the place you're at. You know how hard it's been to get to the place where it's actually somewhat easy. And you don't want to go through the resistance again of doing it. You don't want to... I had a very short mindset shift. So I hit my goal. I don't know if I said that. I weighed in at 169.5 last week. I don't remember what day it was. Friday?
Strong work.
Saturday. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I had a mindset reset where I said, all right, I'm going to have Taco Bell tonight. I'm going to watch UFC. I'm going wild. And I had like 4,000 calories. It was amazing. It was the best. Then the next day I woke up and I said, all right, what can I eat? What can I throw down my gullet? And I said, no, Kev, easy. It has been very challenging to do the 10 pounds in 10 weeks. I don't want to have to go through all of that to get again. We need to make sure we're resetting goals. And then the goal was, all right, let me go into my app. Let me set up a maintenance week where I'm just eating at maintenance just so I can have a little diet break. And then after the week, I'll go back down to whatever the calories are, and then I'll push for 165. But that was like a mindset shift of I've been dieting for 10 weeks. I don't want to go off the rails and just stop tracking altogether. That would be terrible. It's a terrible idea. And
it's a terrible idea.
I'm going to lose all my momentum. Right,
you would lose your...
What's your...
That would be losing humility, in my opinion.
Well, that or trying to get back on the track of not losing my mind, one of the two. What is your...
Takeaway.
What is your takeaway? Yeah. Sorry. Just checking my messages.
All of us, we were in book club. Be brief about this. I know we got to jump. We were in book club, and I said, book club is a safe space to both struggle and succeed. And we were talking about Same as Ever by Morgan Housel, and the chapter was about how all great things are based on the accumulated compound effect of positive decisions over time, but bad things happen instantly. So it can take 10 years to build a bridge, one day to burn it down. That's the metaphor. I said, who here has something they're willing to share? I want all of us to please share at least one thing that you do that you've been doing for a really long time that's really positive that you never give yourself credit for. You've never even talked about it. Like, what's one thing? Some really cool ones came up. There's one person who does a mind puzzle every single day. First thing when they wake up every single day for like years. Another one was Amy said her fitness streak. She's been doing fitness streak at 700 days or something like that.
Strong.
Brandon, mile a day every day for almost 2 years now, I think. But that would be my takeaway from this is what's something really positive that you actually are consistent at that you've completely forgotten to give yourself any credit for?
Love it. All right. If you are trying to get to the next level and you want to make sure you never miss an opportunity to do so, make sure you subscribe on whatever podcast platform you are listening to us on and subscribe on YouTube if you are watching us there. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it consistent. Next Level Nation.